Welcome. Hi, friends. Nice to see you again today. We're back for another humdinger, if you will. And the whole band is here. We've got a busy day today. We've got lots to get to, so let's introduce everybody. Please welcome from my right to left, Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton, at Lachlan Cross on Twitter, looking like a yogi master. We've also got Ryan Lindley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast, at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Thank you for doing that, Lachlan. And
Caryma.
I know. And my friend and lawyer advocate from sadvocacy.com. Please welcome the one and only Caryma Rules, ladies and gentlemen. At Caryma Rules, Caryma Saad is here. Nice to see you.
Welcome, Caryma.
Real, we were talking about it before, but those
Love
glasses,
that smile, Caryma.
Yeah, you're the happiest. Those glasses, they're just, they should be on a shirt. Like, you need to be, that's your, it's the glasses are the brand, right?
Yeah,
and
the lipstick.
The lipstick, the glasses, the nose ring. You got to put that on a shirt, Caryma. You really do.
We're going to get her in the merch. We're going to get her into the merch game soon.
I'm not opposed to merch.
Like an abstract profile of just the glasses, the ring, and the lips on the shirt would be, that could be like a logo. That could be your trademarked logo.
Well, I was saying the glasses actually are on my letterhead when I send demand letters, etc. But I sometimes worry that I look like an optometrist. I've not really had that issue, but I think about it sometimes.
You have a problem with the way optometrists look, do you?
I don't know if it's as compelling to receive a letter from an optometrist, but
it would depends on the situation, I guess. I mean, and luckily enough, we haven't received a demand letter from you, so no, we don't. We haven't seen your letterhead. Although I would have no problem with getting one for you after the shit we've put you through.
I was just gonna say, I would say the pre-show, she's probably gonna send one.
Oh yeah.
Cease and desist immediately.
I'm excited. I'm excited about a demand letter or a cease and desist letter from Caryma.
Yeah,
I bet it would be very flowery.
Yeah.
I'd have to look up. I'd have to Google half the words.
Yeah. Me too. It's a standard practice when you talk to someone that smart. Speaking of which, before we get to kind of the fun stuff, we got lots of stuff to get to today. Pat King, we got some Convoy news about Pat King. We also got some Convoy. We got to wrap up a little Convoy stuff because old Randers got in more trouble yesterday. Pat King's lawyer had a malware attack in the middle of court today. It was a mess. It was a mess. But I want to get to that, and we're going to talk about a new hire at the Toronto Star, which is fucking hilarious. We've got Elon Musk to get to. But I want to ask you real quick about, the whole process of coming up with an idea, like the frames, the glasses. Are you one of those people that goes in and tries on a million pairs, or do you just go and look for the brightest, pair with leopard print and go, that's the one for me?
So prior to these, I actually had pretty nondescript glasses. They were just black frame, straightforward.
Yeah.
And then I was at Walmart a few years ago, and these just jumped out, and I tried them on, and I liked it. And then I incorporated it into some of my branding, and so I bought 3 more pairs of the frames. Sort of anticipating that they would break or just get tired.
Mm-hmm.
And now they've discontinued them.
Son of a bitch.
I know it's horrible, but I found them online. So they are being shipped in from the States right now.
Nice work.
And
now, did you buy up the whole stock? There's some people out there that go, oh fuck, there's only 80 more pairs of those, and I'm only 32, so I better get all of them.
Well,
I've done that with shoes.
At some point, when I change the frames, it'll be Caryma 2.0. So, that'll be the shift, the heel turn, if you will.
You know what Caryma is?
Good wrestling reference. That was good.
She is, she's the type that can pull anything off like that.
Totally.
We all have friends like this in our lives, right? Like if I wear a hat other than this, even this, I look a bit like a tool. I just look like an idiot. Right? Like it doesn't matter what if I put colored frames on. I went to try to get something cool last time. I took my wife with me. Every time I put a pair of glasses on, she burst out laughing. Right? Like I have to get all this just basic shit. Jimmy, you can put anything on that little shit and he looks awesome. He just looks cool, right? Yeah. Caryma, you're the same way. Like I can't pull anything off. I gotta wear a t-shirt, just basic stuff, or I look like a dork. Like I envy that. Like you look cool.
Thank Thanks,
She looks
Lachlan.
cool.
Yeah, she does.
And she,
It's true. It's
You
it's
know,
a fresh
she-
look. It's cool.
Yeah, it is.
yeah.
Yeah. But look at us. Look at us just fawning over how you look.
I'm
How's
okay
that?
with this. This is nice. I
Yeah,
should
it's-
come here more
it's-
often.
It's a very different vibe than you normally get, isn't it? When you go,
Anywhere in public, yeah, this is much nicer.
yeah. I want to ask you about it because you were in Peterborough. Before we get to the convoy stuff, you went and traveled to Peterborough a couple weekends ago for the grand reopening of Peterburgers. Is that what
Peterburgers, the portmanteau to end all portmanteaus.
now Peterburgers,
There's another
if you
word
don't
I
know,
gotta
is
look
this disgusting burger joint in Peterborough that was owned and operated by just a couple of total tools, Roy Asseltine, and I can't remember the lady's name. It's like when you look at the video, they make these little videos all the time going, we're making burgers and Caryma's making us uncomfortable outside. We don't know what her deal is, but we just want to make burgers. And when I watch these videos, I'm like, who gives hepatitis to who in this equation? That's all I think about when I look at the video. I know no one wants to endorse that or co-sign it. That's totally okay. I'm out on my own and I'm fine with it. But that's quality of individual. So anyway, long story
jump in
short,
that
it was a
canoe.
hepatitis off a couple weekends ago. And I want to play a video of you because this pissed me off. Like, I couldn't fucking believe, A, that you were there, B, that you showed up in a hazmat suit. That's absolutely poking the bear, by the way.
They invited
She
me to
asked
come
her-
in costume.
Did they?
Yeah.
They put a video out where Roy said, "We'll pay you $100 to come dress up like a burger and dance outside the restaurant."
Yeah.
And I said, "Sure."
Did you get your $100?
They gave me a $10 gift certificate.
Oh, that's
for,
gotta be.
for one of their burgers, huh?
Sue him.
I
have
was gonna
not-
say, I'd be
sending
sending
I
one of
have
those
not
letters.
redeemed said certificate. I will
Smart.
frame it.
Yeah. Well, because you don't know what they got in those burgers, right? Like, let's be serious. When there's people that don't believe in science or making your food, you probably don't want to eat it. Anyway, long story short, I want to play this for you. Look at Caryma. Look at the nuts on this woman. Pardon the language. Look at the fortitude on this young lady standing in the middle of this fucking breakout of
I haven't seen this.
hepatitisville,
This is good.
and she's wearing a hazmat suit. But I want you to check out Meal Team 6 try to attack her. This is wild. Look at her.
So we're here at Peterburgers. People are down for the cause. It's drizzling a little bit.
Watch buddy, you're on the road. He doesn't know what he's doing. His brain's fried. Don't be behind the white line there for safety purposes. Don't touch me. You just touched me, buddy. Safety purposes.
Nice manicure.
Right there we go. Don't
Yeah.
touch me. Don't touch me.
clubbing.
You just touched me. Don't
a hard
touch me.
Yeah, so they are getting in front of her, pushing her, grabbing her, touching her. She's trying to just either saying shoo, swearing at her, acting like fucking lunatics, vanilla ISIS, trailer park pigs.
As you can see, people are really down for the cause. And the rain's not going to keep anyone away. It's the grand reopening.
Hey, Caryma, you should have told me you were in Alberta. Fuck you guys.
he got ahead of it.
you
He got ahead of the
guys.
joke.
So how was Edmonton? Okay, so what the fuck was that?
The grand reopening of their restaurant, apparently.
Good to have him back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, so the thing is, I had to intervene. You could see me sort of getting between the plaid man and my cameraman because he was just yelling, "Don't touch me," but no one was touching him. So that's where I kind of scooted him away. I maybe there was some incidental contact in the process of doing that, but a little bit alarming that sort of. It looks like a baseball bat, but it's his flagpole. These gentlemen, didn't appreciate my outfit, I don't think, or
Yeah.
presence.
Guy's got some cardiac issues. Tell by his fingers
They
and
got
his
some
fingernails.
cardiac issues. You know
There were a
what's
couple of other people I was able to talk to, and it was fine. And obviously the costume was a little bit provocative, but
Just
really
a smidge.
they invited it on themselves when they told
Yeah.
me to come dressed as a burger. I couldn't find the outfit, so
Yeah. Well, you got a hazmat suit on, goggles, mask outside, and what struck me about that, because I was watching it and I'm like, there isn't a human being in this country that would put themselves in that position other than you. Like, not one. Like, I go to great lengths to avoid this, and there's you literally dressed up like you're going to do some edge work and go paint someone's house, standing there with
Me
a
too.
mask on, going, "Hey, I'm here at Peterburgers. How's it going?" You know, and again, I ask you this. And at any point in time, because I was enraged by that tweet and that video had hundreds of thousands of impressions and likes and views, because I was like, fuck, who are these guys putting their hands on my friend? Like, who says that they can do that? And then the quality of individual that tried to tell you that you were there under bad is, I don't know if you saw the smoker's face, like the yellow beard.
The yellow
I don't know if you saw the
mustache.
guy, like the guy that with the fingers, the guy with the terrible hands.
Yeah.
He's not going to be hungry for that Peterburgers if he keeps eating his fingers. Like, there's no way. Like, who? When you get around,
apparently 2 of them are named Greg, is something that I learned.
Of course.
of course,
There's a Terry in there.
yeah, and a Brian and a Carl for sure.
2 Gregs and a Terry.
But I can't believe this is still going on.
Probably a Chad.
Oh,
Like that underscored by the craziness, Caryma. Why the fuck?
It's not
It's
about
over.
mandates. It's not about mandates. So, like, that's what needs to sink into people's heads right now.
Yeah,
That this is not about mandates. And even though sort of the talking point is, well, federally we still can't, fly, and certain federal jobs still require mandates. Like, that's not really the driving force here. And this is a populist movement that is now the goalposts constantly shift.
Yeah.
And we're going to see what the next iteration is. And, they're predicting that mandates will come back. So we're preemptively protesting. But none of that really makes sense.
Is that what they say? Is it they say that? Listen, we're just pre-protesting for the next one. Is that legitimately what they say?
That's one of
putting
the
this
talking
one in the
points.
bank.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about
hang
those
on,
guys?
hang on. I want to finish this whole thing up because I have to understand this. So when you say, "What are you protesting?" They say we're pre-protesting for the next one.
For
That's
the
kind of the
possibility of
sentiment.
coming back.
It's more that we don't believe the mandates are going to be gone for long, so we need to
Keep it up.
keep voicing our concerns, essentially,
makes all
and
the
keep
sense in
fighting
the
for
world.
our freedoms.
It's funny coming from the side of the country that continuously says that
Don't
we live
side.
that
Don't
we live in-
side
that
here.
we live in
That's in
fear.
Ontario.
says
Yeah,
that
I
we
know.
live in no, I'm talking about the anti-maskers versus
Oh,
the people that
okay.
are
I
sound
thought
mind.
you were going to province this out.
It's just
Not
funny
geographic sides.
it's just it's just funny that they constantly say that we're the ones that live in fear, yet they're
Right.
literally protesting something they're afraid of that isn't happening. So
Yeah.
I love the
You know what?
I love that you
hypocrisy.
added that last part, protesting something that isn't happening, because that's actually what's happening right now, and it's fucking great. Caryma, go ahead.
That's what the mayor said. I sat in on the Peterborough Police Board meeting, just because I was kind of curious what the fallout would be, and she had a great line where she's, yes, of course everyone has their charter rights, even though no one's really sure what's being protested right now, and it's on point. She's a badass mayor.
They're pre-protesting.
They made
You know
a bunch
what?
You get it? It's like sort of when I do meal planning. That, like, when my meal planning is they're pre-protesting, right? My scheduling, when I come up with a schedule for my day so I can have a good day. That's what they do. They're like, well, we got to protest today just in case we don't get one in tomorrow, just in
Making
case
my
next
lunch
year
on
there's
Monday
another
for
thing like this.
Wednesday.
So let's get that pre-protest in, everybody.
I learned this at the beginning of the beginning of the pandemic when they locked everything down, and because I had a couple of friends that were the conspiracy type, right? When you go out for drinks with them, all they want to talk about is their latest sort of discovery on YouTube or whatever. And back in the day, I used to entertain it because I found humor in it, right? Because I mean, I've got a bit of that wiring, and I'm intrigued by the conspiracy theory kind of world. And so I would play along, and I don't have that lizard brain fully, but I can get sucked into a conversation. I don't do it anymore because that same group, and ironically, they all look a lot like the guys that were at that protest or pre-protest.
Yeah.
They generally have a look. I know we're not supposed to
it's
stereotype.
the look. It's like Santa fell off the wagon.
Yeah, like bad Santa, like
Bad
candidates
Santa.
for the next bad
Really
Santa.
bad
Fell off
Santa.
the terrible
And it's funny-
fucking Santa.
It's funny every time I saw somebody without a mask on when the mask mandate was on, all the women looked like they were related, and all the men looked like that.
Yeah.
They have that look, but the wiring was always there, and this was just the mandates and COVID and the messaging and all of the complaints that we all kind of are frustrated with. That's what they jumped in on. It was just their next 9/11. And it's everyone has those people in their families, and they just moved into that. Oh, here's something new. The other thing that is disturbing about that group for me is they love the victim card, and they're so unaware of what they're doing. It's I'm embarrassed for them, because all they're doing is just playing the victim in a lot of these situations, and it's kind of fucking sad that they need that negative attention that they get from that to get up and make their day feel fulfilled somehow, right? Like
maybe, or they're just dumb. Like, you play that card quite a bit as well. I mean, you're not smart when you give up everything you have and you decide you're going to stand in the middle of an intersection because these burgers are more about peace and a way of life than anything. Like, that's kind of the messaging that came out of last weekend.
The guy in the middle could be Steve.
Yeah. Who? The guy in the middle is Caryma.
We have a predisposition. It's part of our primal instincts in our brain to quickly solve things. And if you're not smart, like you say, if you're just dumb and you can't work through things rationally, your brain is still doing the same. Your brain works the same as mine when it comes to this. It's still searching for that resolution. They're finding any way to soothe it. So what they do is they will insert a conspiracy theory into that as that's now the answer. This is the answer. My brain is quelled. My brain is calm. But I'm still mad because
I'm going to act according to that answer.
Answer. Yeah. And now I'm going to feed that. And this is where like you talk about the Dunning-Kruger and the cognitive dissonance and the disconnection from reality. It digs harder and harder and deeper, and it becomes more steadfast the further they push on. Getting out of this after 2 years of what we've seen and what Caryma's gone on the street and actually faced, I don't know how the fuck we're gonna. This is nothing like the 9/11 conspiracies. Yeah, some shit went down on the internet,
but largely people didn't repeat it in public or stand on street corners and talk about it because the one thing, and I come back to this all the time, is they were afraid to say anything ridiculous for fear it might come back and destroy any job opportunities, reputation. They don't give two fucks anymore, Caryma. Like when you go to these things and you see these people repeat these crazy things, to which Ryan's point, and he's 100% right, Ryan, and it's a great point, where they've adopted an idea that's clearly fucked. And they've settled on it because they cannot comprehend the other outcome, which is that they might have to get a shot or might have to be civic-minded or whatever the fucking situation is. But in the end, it comes down to the fact that I think is that these people always felt this way, always acted like this, but knew discretion was the better part of valor when it came to opportunities for themselves. And now it's like they don't care, which is kind of what makes them so fucking dangerous, right, Caryma?
I have a theory on that. I have a theory when you're done, Caryma.
I mean, I agree with that. And even in this video, right? Like it wouldn't have been hard for anyone to just let me stand there, look like an idiot, say my piece, and then walk back across the street. So people invite this kind of response on themselves and then get mad when it goes public and people react to it. And it's not a reaction that they want to see, and kind of feeding into...
Yeah, nice pink ones.
Feeding into what Lachlan was saying about wanting to be victims, that is absolutely an undercurrent and theme throughout these protests, this movement generally, and even in the response to, me showing up like this, there have been at least 4 or 5 videos, from different participants, like crying about the injustice and tyranny of me showing up and the mayor calling them dimwits and how can this be? But they're all people who supported the convoy and occupation in Ottawa, where there was a literal siege by, trucks and streets blocked off and 3 weeks of mayhem. And so it's not in good faith. So it's not in good faith. We can't engage with it as though it is rational or based in any sort of logic or reason. It's not.
Did you see a lot of police presence while you were there? Because they were tweeting as though they were coming down swift and hard on this place. I don't know. Do they have a business license still?
I saw a cop pull up and stop at the red light and then drive past. So that was the extent of the police presence that I observed. There was one guy who was wearing like free Billings, free Pat King shirt, taking selfies with everyone. And he might have been an undercover cop. I don't know, because it was weird. He was weird. Or he was just weird. So either of those are equally plausible explanations.
Chances are he was weird.
Police said that they had a presence and that, charges were going to be forthcoming. As far as I know, there was a noise violation, like a summons for that. I'm not aware of anything else. So, at the police board meeting, the acting chief was, talking about discretion and, lawful assembly, but it's unlawful when it's mischief. And we're talking more with the prosecutors about, the threshold. But it's what I find interesting. And, I'm not actually opposed to police being judicious about laying charges. But the way he was speaking, it was as though they were putting themselves in the position of judge as well. And one specific example was, they're driving at, 30 kilometers an hour, but the speed limit is 50 kilometers. That's only 20 kilometers different. So it's going to be thrown out of court. And it's like, I don't know that would be the necessary outcome. It might, and if you have a good defense, perhaps, but it's almost as though police are not willing to lay charges, just presupposing the outcome. And I don't see that happen in pretty much any other segment of policing or society. So for whatever reason, there is a benefit of the doubt being afforded to this group.
As it has been for years. Sorry, Locke, go ahead. I know you wanted to say something.
I have a theory on, and it's not a fucking groundbreaking theory, but the thing that I think is happening because you were just saying, Dean, you're surprised at how vocal, like people used to keep some of their conspiracy theories to themselves, right. And that ship has sailed, and people now are very, very, very vocal about any of their beliefs. It's because they found a community, they find it online, and they get that instant gratification to that victim post, and then all of a sudden they've got some friends, and then it grows, and then they meet and let's go to that burger place in Peterborough, right? So it's interesting too. I got an example of it today. This kid in the broadcast business who about 4 or 5 years ago was a practicum student, and then ended up getting an on-air gig or something, and kind of got a little bit arrogant, and then kept getting fired. I'm on my 6th job, and I've been in radio for 30 years. And this kid's like burned through 6 jobs in the last 4 or 5 years, right? So there might be a problem, and I'm suggesting it might be him. But he posted on his Facebook page,
lightly suggesting
that was so gentle.
He should look inside.
I love the lead up into it because you super explained it, and then you're like, I'm suggesting he might be an asshole. That's great. Good for you.
So anyway, Grant wants me desperately. Grant from the locker room. He's like, Locke, you got to go on there and post something. They always try to get me to weigh in because they know I will. And I went in and looked, and he's got all this support, and he's shit posting this job. this company, this latest firing, right? And I thought, well, I could go in there and put a little sort of sarcastic, dickish comment there for everyone's humor. And I didn't, but I ended up reading it all, and it was all like, yeah, and they're all behind him. And it's the stupidest post I've seen in years from a radio person. And that's saying something. Like, this fucking kid is never going to get a job again based on that.
You know, hold it. Back up for a second, okay? Like, I shit on that business 24/7, okay? I shit on it 24/7. And I never shit on the people in it. That's the difference. You somehow
not in it
managed to
anymore.
protect the whole industry and then take a huge dump on the people. You're like,
No,
it's a stupid post, and for a radio person, that's
he's not
fucking
in it.
incredible.
He's not in it anymore. He's fired.
All right. Okay, well, good. I appreciate that.
Okay, come on. Am I being over the top by suggesting that radio people as a whole might be considered dumb?
No,
Okay,
not
then
at all.
We are.
Wow, come on.
Dude, look at us. We're here talking to each other. It's not particularly genius unless the other two say something. I totally understand that. Speaking of genius, though, and staying with the Convoy thing, because we're trying to wrap a couple of loose ends up, Pat King was in court today for a hot minute. I don't know if you saw this. Pat King is still in Ottawa. He is still in jail. This was him in a much happier time when he could scratch his ass with no one saying, hey, man, you're right in front of me. Or when he could go to the bathroom and not like from 4 feet away from his friend's head in his jail cell. This is Pat in a happier time. So you know what happened today, Caryma? And I'm just going to kind of bring everybody up to speed. Apparently, he goes to court. His lawyer in its Zoom court, and apparently there's a publication ban, which I also want to talk about, which because they're not normally publication bans for this kind of stuff. But there's a publication ban. There is?
Yeah, they're fairly routine. I'm actually
Oh, are they?
surprised that he didn't originally ask for one.
My conspiracy head started moving as soon as I heard publication ban. I'm like, well, then he's a government informant for sure. But maybe not. But anyway, back to Pat. So apparently he goes in for his bail adjournment hearing.
Too, eh?
A little bit, yeah. He goes, well, I'm a radio guy. I'm an idiot. So he goes into this court meeting, and his lawyer brings up his computer during the Zoom meeting. And apparently there's this cryptic voice going, your computer has been locked. Your computer has been locked over and over again because his computer was infected with malware. That computer had all of Pat's stuff on it. So they apparently adjourned for the day.
Anonymous?
Yeah, strangely enough.
That's kind of what I was
Maybe
thinking.
it was anonymous. Your computer has been locked. And this is on the Zoom call, apparently. So long story short, he can't get anything right. He's been in jail for almost 2 months. What is going on with Pat King? What do you take out of that, and why he's still in jail? Because I know he probably shouldn't still be there, but I kind of fucking like it, just so you know.
Yeah.
So he's still in jail because he was originally denied bail, and that bail was denied for a number of reasons, including the surety who was proposed not being suitable, according to the court. And so now he's in the process of bail review. And bail review is an entitlement that an accused has, provided that there is either an error in the original bail decision, an error in law, or a material change in circumstance. And that change in circumstance could be, we have a new surety, we have a new plan to propose, let's try this again, essentially. So that's where we're at right now. It took a long time, I think, to get him back in court for a bail review. To my understanding, just based on watching his Facebook page, there was talks about a team of lawyers, but then the lawyer who originally represented him, it expressed that he wasn't on the record, and some confusion about who his counsel was. So that took a little bit of time. And so he's been in jail while all of that played out. And, if we sort of separate Pat King from this for a second and just think about bail and kind of how crucial it is as a step in the criminal process, he's still presumed innocent at this point, and is sitting in jail because of these procedural delays, and now apparently, the computer being hacked. But it sounds like that got resolved. So they're back in court, I believe, on Tuesday. hopefully to wrap this up. And I'll
Can I
just
ask you-
reiterate.
Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you
Yeah.
one question, Caryma? How come it always seems that Pat King gets these bail hearings on like a Friday before a long weekend or a Thursday before the long weekend, and he gets terrible news like halfway through it, and then he has
Bad
to go
luck.
back to jail for another long weekend with no end in sight? Is that like the legal system going, let's just fuck the guy, or is it just like natural
Yeah.
consequences, legal natural, because it happens on a Friday
A
or a
lot.
Thursday before a long weekend every month or so?
It's bad luck. And you know, it's very bad luck for Pat.
I feel awful for him.
Karma sucks.
I feel terrible. Yeah, just awful.
So yeah, we're gonna find out, I guess, and we might not even get a decision on Tuesday. You know, the judge may take some time to think about what the outcome will be. But yeah, that's where we're at with Pat King, and he's been in jail this whole time.
I heard he
I-
lost some weight. I heard he's been
Uh,
dropping some pounds while he's in there.
Did he lose some weight?
Did he lose his leg?
2 questions. Does he have cornrows yet, or is that in June?
I heard that it was a shaved head and a
Yeah.
braid.
Shaved head and a braid.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does he have a leg to stand on?
Stop it. Stop it. Grow
What?
up.
What?
Don't. Please don't grow up.
What? What?
You pirated that
Or
joke.
is he going out on one limb? I mean,
Stop parroting things and don't pirate jokes. It's not good. Me Hardy.
I had him pegged as getting out soon.
Oh,
You're good at this. You're better than me.
Too good. You're too good at that, actually.
Yeah. Does he really have one leg?
Yes.
Because I haven't seen him like.
Oh, he does? I don't know. I was just
No, he-
vamping. I had no idea.
Yes. Actually, he has a video where he takes off his leg and shakes it at the camera, and he's yelling at Jagmeet Singh. So yeah,
oh, I can
he
smell that.
might
Why
have
do I
lost
want
it
hair.
in a.
Why do I
roofing
want that
accident.
video so bad right now in my life?
Apparently, he
What?
lost it because of diabetes or whatever or something. But he tells everybody it was in the war, which he never was part of. Or that's what I've
The
heard.
War for Freedom.
Yeah, he tells people he lost in Afghanistan. You know, when we get to this part of the conversation where we take great joy in other bad people suffering, I always look down at Caryma's face and she's like this.
She's
trying.
trying for that though.
She's like this. Gentlemen, please.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer.
It's not that I'm a lawyer. I'm just a good person.
Yeah, you are fucking.
You're way better than the three of
person than
us.
us.
That's true.
Okay, so two more things
true.
we got to get to before you let
We'll
you
give you
go. Randy Hillier, I want Caryma's opinion on it. Ryan wrote a great piece on it. What happened with Randers the other day? He's in way more trouble, apparently. Is that what I understand?
Yeah.
What
I had
happened with Randers?
I
Is
had
that
somebody-
the title?
What
had
happened with Randers?
I had somebody reach out to me today that was a constituent that signed up for his emails and confirmed that actually did happen to them as well. So, yeah, apparently he was using his constituency email. Anytime somebody would email him, he built up a list and started shooting out mailers for PPC events, fundraisers. Not realizing that this is against the law for an elected official to use his office to do that. Yeah. So the Integrity Commissioner has launched another investigation against Randy. And apparently Randy has stopped speaking to the Integrity Commissioner now because I guess he's too busy trying to
come on, like
defend
more
himself.
proof here. Look at show a picture of him. His name's Randy. Look at him.
Exposed.
Yeah.
Look at him.
So he's in a little bit of trouble. And there was something else too.
His daughter filmed her
That was it.
her promo, right, from his office.
Yeah. From the Randy Hillier Den of Sadness, which you're not allowed to do. And he also had his staffers, his actual MPP office staff, taking part in things like that as well.
Using the conservative photocopier for PPC pamphlets, signing PC people up for his PPC emails, sending them fundraising notes, sending them propaganda like don't vote for O'Toole, he sucks. And then his daughter Chelsea, who finished 4th out of 4 candidates in her riding, like dead last, because everybody's like, how are we going to put her anywhere and how are we going to take her anywhere? She doesn't even have teeth. And they're like, I don't know. So she finishes fourth. She uses her dad's letterhead. She uses all the office supplies. She uses the stapler, the PC stapler, to go out. And so anyway, now he's being charged with like 1,500 other things. And I don't see how, like, how is it that Randy Hillier survives any of this in any capacity, right? Like, I can't. The amount of trouble he's in from a legal standpoint, and then the amount of trouble he's in from a civil standpoint, to me, it's like, Caryma, he has no chance. Like, he is not getting out of this at the age of 70 with like a clean record and a bright future heading into the sunset of his retirement. At least that's what I think.
I mean, he's not rerunning for office, so I don't know what his long-term plans are. Maybe he is at the point where he just retires and fades from public life and
There's no more lockdowns. It's a business.
quietly
It's making
resolves, these outstanding issues, and maybe not with a clean record, but is it going to have any material impact on his life? Maybe if he were to travel, but presumably he's unvaccinated, so he's not going anywhere anyway. So I don't know what the actual consequences he faces will be, and I don't know for these charges or with the integrity commissioner, like what's the jeopardy, right? Like what are the potential penalties if he is found guilty? Are there penalties for non-cooperation? Is it going to be like a negative inference that's made against him because he doesn't comply with the process? I'm not sure how all of that plays out. But yeah, his career as a politician is done.
Yeah, fuck. And it's fucking awesome to watch. Like, it's everything that we said it would be and more, right? Like, it is watch. And here's the other thing. I was thinking, man, they're uncovering that. I wonder what else they uncover. And then I started thinking about, what are they going to cover from the Convoy? Who else might have been involved? Like, I mean, we're only getting the surface stuff, and I believe there's an inquiry still to come, right? Because they triggered the Emergencies Act. So here comes the inquiry, right? And then now we're looking at all this other stuff. It's just, it blows my mind because we only see the surface of what people do, which is, justifies the anger on Twitter and all the hatred that we had for Randy Hillier. But when you dig and you find out more, it's even seedier. It kind of always is. And I want to bring up this one point, too, because we're on the Convoy tip and we're talking about these kinds of people. The Toronto Star made an announcement today. Sorry, you're going to say
I was just going to say, just before we move away from Randy, I just wanted to give you the number of emails that are in part of this Integrity Commissioner investigation.
Yes. Please, yes.
89 emails are in question. Out of 89, 80 of them were in violation.
And this is over a short span of time.
It was between August 1st and September 30th of last year. So 38 of them promoted PPC events. One of them sent a message directly to somebody on election day and encouraged them to vote for PPC and to sign up as scrutineers at their local polling station. So
under the members, getting like 2 emails per day from Randy Hillier
under the Members Integrity Act. Is what they're doing. Oh, exactly. Like I couldn't imagine. Getting one, let alone being part of that. You know that every time he has a brain fart of a thought, so he's on that email. I'm going to send this. This is the most prolific,
It's his new Twitter, maybe.
Yeah. So his news. This is newsletter violations.
Everything.
I'm just catching up here.
Yeah, correspondence violations. So like he
was signing up like his constituents for his PPC email campaign.
But was he sending out a newsletter to a mailing list, and he was promoting PPC events?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. So anytime misappropriating the list.
Right.
Yeah.
Anytime you interact with your MPP lock, your name goes into a list and it goes in. Okay, we help this guy. Maybe down the road he might use that as a tool to, pull you for where you sit on issues or whatever. It's not to be used.
Do you see the dumbest guy in politics in Canada?
Yeah, he's got to be. I mean, he's
quite possibly.
He sent like literal fundraising emails for another party from his other party's email address, and then he signed all those people. Look, here, I'll brass tax it for you. It would be like you having 1 million email addresses and me being your employee, and then me being upset with you, taking those 1 million email addresses and entering them into my system, and then sending them all emails saying, "Fuck Lachlan, I'm the better guy." That's what he did.
Yeah,
that's literally what he did. Like, it's fucking mind-blowing, but it's awesome, and it's in that community, and it's not just him. I mean, like we're seeing different people come out of the woodwork. Case in point, The Toronto Star today announced that they hired a new CEO. I don't know if anybody saw this. This was quite interesting. And I put an article up at deanblundell.com. You can go read it. Let's talk about the Toronto Star's new CEO's Twitter history for a second. And I was alerted to this by one David Fistman, one of the doctors here in Ontario. He's a good dude. He was part of the science table, quit because he's like, those guys are corrupt as
Is he a
fuck.
brony?
No, but he apparently loves them. So I wake up this morning and I see this tweet. It says, this is the new CEO of the Toronto Star. Thoughts? Her name is
My Little
Marina.
Pony, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Marina Glogovats, I think is how you say her name. And this is of concern, obviously, because she's just been appointed the CEO of Canada's largest daily newspaper, like a real news outlet, a mainstream media outlet. And she tweets, he puts out her tweet, and the tweet says, the rest of the world has moved on. All other provinces, we are actually the last to follow. So the frame of references and hundreds of other experts all throughout Europe and the U.S., both blue and red states support this. The pandemic is over. Time to heal and unite. So it would appear by that tweet, David is going, I'm concerned that they've hired a crackpot to be the CEO of the Toronto Star. She actually replied to it. Her reply was absolutely victimrific. David, respectfully, I don't want to feel persecuted by you for a personal opinion from a whole month ago. As a free and private citizen, has nothing to do with my new role. I am fully vaccinated and support the current public health guidance. Should be able to dialogue in a democracy. Now, you look at that and you go, well, yeah, good for her for second up for herself. Keep in point, the victim stuff comes up in every single one of these tweets. Not only does it come up in every, and I've got more, I'm going to show you in a second. Not only does she love playing the victim card, she's all over the conspiracy shit with the weird conspiracy people, like the total weirdos, including Roman Baber, who last summer tweeted about Dr. Moore joyfully telling parents vaccinated kids and unvaccinated kids would have two different sets of rules in schools, which was a lie. The new CEO of the Toronto Star furthered that disinformation by attacking the tweet or attaching herself to the tweet, saying this is the woman who's running the Toronto Star, an independent daily, a massive daily and Canada's biggest newspaper. She says, does not matter what Dr. Moore thinks. It matters what Pfizer executives think and want. We are witnessing a policy and government captured by massive corrupt drone corporation. Dig deeper, folks. She's in charge of the Star.
Well, it looks like she's fond of research. That's a good thing.
Seems like it.
I don't think she is, dude. It doesn't stop there.
Oh, God.
She's specifically, Roman Baber has been kicked out of politics. Like he's an independent city, and he's a fucking lunatic, like a pure conspiracy lunatic. And she retweets all of his shit. Like this one, she says she's vaccinated and had COVID, but now she will not step into any establishment that requires passports on principle. Did the living in a communist country thing, thank you. Plus, it's completely illogical. Both groups spread the same. It's not about safety. So in that tweet, what we have is a lie that both groups do not spread the same. It's been proven that if you're vaccinated and boosted, you spread at 60% less of a rate than the unvaccinated individual. And it was about safety, and it is about being vaccinated. And what about the fucking stuff like in this last tweet that she put up? Remember where she's like, we should be able to have dialogue in a democracy? Do you remember that tweet? Yeah. I do, because in this tweet, she's saying she's not going to give anybody her business. That's not dialogue in democracy. That's her penalizing people for having a different opinion of herself and penalizing the fucking economy. That woman today was announced to be the new CEO of the biggest newspaper in the country.
It makes me it actually concerns me that you said CEO of Toronto Star,
the Toronto
right?
Star, yeah.
It concerns me that the CEO of a major publication like that doesn't know the meaning of the word communism, especially if she lived in a communist nation. Like, why there is no comparison to a communist nation and vaccine passports. Like, it's so.
And you know what she does in each one of these tweets? She brings up her 26 years in Yugoslavia. Every single tweet. And here's the wonderful part. She deleted almost all of those, but not before we screen grabbed every one of them.
Oh, sorry.
Today, yesterday, and today. She's still on a big tweet cleanse right now. You can see him disappear. It's absolutely hilarious. But here's the thing, Caryma. I want to know what you think of that. I want to know what you think about that person, by the way. Probably really good at her job. Apparently, she comes from the advertorial side of things, digital advertorial, not editorial. But she's got great relationships. She actually has a decent resume, CV, when it comes to be. I don't know if it's good enough to get that gig, but I would love to know your thoughts. I mean, that's supposed to be a newspaper that wants to be center of the road and report the news.
Yeah, that's not a center of the road tweets that we're seeing. I mean, I don't know to what extent the CEO will control like the daily operations, but presumably they guide the organization, right? And the Toronto Star compared to like the other publications we get was always considered, I think, sort of the most in the center, occasionally left-ish, but not really. At least not since it was purchased. So. I what does this mean for the media that we consume and sort of the diversity of thought and opinion that people are actually going to be exposed to? And that's important because it shapes perspectives, right? And say what you will about print media and people relying more on social media and kind of the it's still very influential. And to Ryan's point, like that's not sort of a difference of opinion. It's regurgitating something that is just an absurd talking point. You can be critical of vaccine passports for a number of reasons, and I think that there are fair discussions to be had there. But the moment you make a very lazy comparison to communism, that's an anti-vax talking point.
It always has been. It's been that way right from the get-go. And
a lot of people though that weren't like vehemently against COVID and anti-vaxxers were against the vaccine passport though.
Yeah, and that's
fine.
It's
not being against the vaccine passport is, I think, is not an illegitimate stance. And I have my own concerns about the way that particular mandate was enforced and rolled out and who was able to access it. So I think that that's fine. But the specific use of I've lived in a communist country and I don't want to see it here. There was no part of communism that I think is comparable to vaccine passports. And so if you're going to criticize the policy, do it properly. Right? Like criticize the policy and not just kind of an imaginary Canada's descending into communism, which is totally divorced from the meaning of communism. So if words have meanings and definitions matter and you're going to be heading a news organization, that I think is concerning.
It's literally your business.
It's interesting how many people made those comparisons though. Like, and I get it. I get that it's off base, but I think it also has to do with the right's lack of influence in what happened in the last couple of years. So they've gravitated towards these extreme sort of positions. I see it all the time from Kenny's office. He made a statement on Saturday here in Alberta. He's the UCP leader. And he talked about the NDP's reign in Alberta like it was like we were in some socialist hell, dystopian
like the
hell.
Crusades.
Yeah. And I'm just like, oh, come on. Like, I didn't like Nutley either, but it's
but he's Locke, he's a politician, right? Like we rely on the media to be able to be captained by people that have the common sense to not say the quiet parts in their fucking lizard brains out loud, right? That's what we rely on. Yes, we should, and yes, we do.
Are you sure?
Dude, it is. I would assume that that's probably what the guys at the Toronto Star. And let me just say this: full transparency. I've met with the guys; they're good people. I know one of them quite well. We have talked about several things with them. These are nice people that are trying to do. I've got a friend there who's the chief revenue officer, Brandon. Great guy. good guy, and he does good business. Like, these are people that are trying to do a great, which is why it shocked the fuck out of me when I saw those tweets, and I went back and started to have a look at some of her older tweets, and I'm like, wouldn't someone have, and I said this in my piece, and listen, are the guys at the Star going to be pissed? Maybe. I congratulate them when they do well as well, and I also say, hey, I didn't like this. So we have a pretty good line of communication, but I will say this, is that I would think, as someone in the climate that we live in, when you're a media outlet trying to get subscribers, you would want to maybe check the Twitter history of your brand new CEO before you make that hire, right?
Well,
like,
isn't
there the due diligence in that in itself is just shocking to me.
Yeah. Like, we're listening now today about Elon Musk failing a vetting process to be on the board of Twitter. Is this not something that goes to every publicly funded
background checks?
Like a background check before they're put in a position like that. Like,
well, I don't know. Like, Locke probably
brand.
wouldn't be at that cruise if they did a background check on him, right?
I think it's a different.
I didn't get a couple of jobs. I think it had to do with the amount of porn I ordered at the hotel on their bills.
Well, he's not. He wasn't. He's not applying to be the CEO.
He got what? 4 porns?
You were here for 8 hours. That's all you did was watch porns.
And we heard what you did on the plane ride here. So.
$32 worth of food.
I've never heard
from room
porns
service
like
and
pluralized
$128.
like
that.
Well, because
worth of
you don't
porns.
watch as much porns as him, then that's the problem.
How much porning
watch-
can
I've
he
never
do?
heard an S at the end of it. That's
How
crazy.
much porning can he
Locke
do with all
watches
those
so
porns?
much porn, he watches porns.
Sometimes it's worth pluralizing some
You
of
know,
these words.
And one of the things that I thought today, too, in terms of like them hiring her, is reputation's your currency, right? Currency of the realm is how people look at the people that you work with. Like, I've spent the last several years watching people on Twitter going, you know him, you're fired. You know her, you're fired. You went to dinner with that person, you're canceled. So it's shocking.
I have a
right?
problem with that. I mean,
Well, we all do. We all do. And I fucking hate it too. And then part of me, like, I'm sitting here thinking, well, maybe she's just a tremendous operator. Maybe she's really good at her job. And maybe in the case of these people, maybe the juice was worth the squeeze. Maybe they're sitting there going, hey, listen, she's got an incredible book, which is like a client list. She knows everything and everybody because people pay for relationships in this industry. Maybe they said to each other, hey, listen, Marina is really good at XYZ. However, she's a little fucking insane and she doesn't believe in mandates and thinks the pandemic is over and doesn't give a fuck if your kids are sick. So like maybe it was one of those things, right? Where it's like, we don't really care about her community ethics. We just really appreciate the job that she does. So maybe,
she
you know,
looks
and
like
that might
somebody
be
to
it.
get a cookie recipe from. Like, look, she looks like a sweet lady.
Doesn't she?
Does she though?
Yes.
She looks like a
Got
spy.
a oatmeal
Nah,
raisin
she
doesn't
espionage
look
all
like
over
a
it.
spy. Stop
Espionage.
it. No, she's not a
No,
spy.
she looks like a sweet.
You know what?
Sweet
Maybe,
face.
I get what you're saying, Dean, and I do agree. Maybe if it was a CFO position, maybe if it was somebody that's not going to be the face of the corporation, there's got to be way more diligence in this. And why the Star, the only one that literally has the respect of both sides, both anybody that's a centrist, like most of us on this panel are, still respects that paper and still respects the job they do. And you could have opposing political views and still say, you know what, the Star's pretty good though. This is going to tip that scale. And no matter, even if the reporting doesn't change, it's got that stink on it now.
I don't know. Maybe they wanted a
Marina
little
stink.
bit of a different opinion
Smells
in
like
the
a
room
marina.
with them.
Maybe they did.
Maybe
they did.
Sure.
Who knows?
Maybe you might be right, Locke. Maybe it is trying to find a balance or trying to
we don't always
project.
agree. You and I, Linz. I think when you were suggesting that when you said most of us on this panel are centralist, I think you were deliberately trying to exclude me.
No.
He just can't speak to Caryma's politics.
That's
I'm a
exactly.
communist,
I've never.
Are
Yeah,
you a
she's a
commie?
communist.
You fucking commie.
She lives in a communist nation, so that's why she goes
you
to
know
all
what?
those rallies.
I think we're putting a little too much weight on what happened in the last couple of years. I think the tweets that I read from her, if I was sitting there looking at her for the position that she now holds, and I saw those tweets, I'm not sure they would be. It's not egregious to
Exclusionary.
the point where I
Yeah.
would go, no, Marina,
Maybe she's
you're
crazy.
out.
Yeah.
I think maybe you can read more into them based on where you sit, opinion wise. And I think that's what we're doing here. I think she does still have that perception that, listen, we need to move on and all get along. And if she presents that in a job interview, in an interview for the position, she's probably going to come out ahead of those tweets as opposed to behind them.
I agree, but I think there is another side of that coin that like you brought up. You said like what we've seen in the last however long, like 2 years now, and we've seen the erosion of the media and the erosion and the split that has occurred that is absolutely like mind-boggling.
Cultural, and it's cultural.
And I'm thinking, I always think back to like the days of like Ted Koppel, or I'm thinking back to like when they, like the amount of respect that used to go into broadcasters and go into
Kent
print
Brockman?
Journalists. Kent Brockman
From The Simpsons?
Yeah.
No? Yes.
Very, very much so. That's gone the way of I don't know, like so that balance. I think you're right, Lachlan. We put it under a microscope right now because of what we've been through, but at the same time, I think we need to a little bit still, so that we don't watch this end up in the toilet.
But we're also in a situation, Linz, right now where people are desperately seeking new voices, and they're putting different people and different types of broadcasters up on pedestals. And I think that maybe the Marina hiring is a sign of the Toronto Star realizing that our lack of respect as a society, cultural lack of respect for the media, maybe they realize there's this shift. Maybe she presented something in the interview process about how to reposition the Toronto Star moving forward, because man, I'm seeing it when I run into somebody, and I did on the weekend, I ran into somebody at a fucking grocery store that commented to me about how much respect they have for my delivery of the news and information. And then my wife's giggling behind me. That's
all
terrifying.
she hears are Weiner jokes. That's it. Right?
Yeah.
That's terrifying. Linz, we have cups that are coming for the merch page that are going to say, "I get my news from the Dean Blundell show," and people will buy those fucking.
Oh, I know
cups.
they will. I get tweets. I get tweets constantly from people saying, "You know what? Thank you for giving us the just the."
And
just
that's
the story.
wrong. That's wrong. Do you know how wrong that is?
That's
Do you know
wrong.
you know what that says?
I
Caryma?
spent 30 minutes telling everybody about the shit I had on Wednesday, yesterday's podcast.
That's news, right? Like
30 minutes.
A couple
I
months
know,
ago,
but I'm
Caryma,
talking
you
about-
were grossed out by his fungus toenail story. That was news to these people. They're like, "That's my news." Like, do you know how dangerous that is? That we sit here and we
I don't think that's
we
what they're
talk
talking
about the truth. Well, I know that they're talking about the transparency, right? They're saying at least you're telling us the story. I was talking with a friend of mine today who was in radio. We were talking about business. Went for coffee. He wants to get into the digital space. Long story short, and this comes up a lot. And it's like the stuff that you guys and Caryma did during the convoy was like separational. And that was the word that he used. He said, you guys absolutely separated yourself from everybody who was bullshit, talking about garbage, trying to drive different narratives. And he goes, then I every day I would log on to YouTube and I would watch you and Caryma fearlessly walking through the crowd with her phone attached to her coat going, "Guys, it smells like farts over here." And but at least people could see what was going on, right? Like at least people could understand what's happening. And we get comments
CBC
like this.
started doing what Caryma was doing 2 weeks
Everybody
into the fucking
did.
convoy.
Everybody did. Yeah. Everybody got dressed up, pretended
They
to
were
be
copying you,
a
Caryma.
young lady who had nothing
National
to
news
fear, and it was
broadcasters.
dude, I watched everybody do it. Everybody. But
Yeah.
that's the temperature that needs to be set, right? Which is why like the responsibility of filling that gap when a lot of different media outlets don't, which is why this is concerning, who are you hiring, and how is she going to play into the delivery of your news, and does she know more? Because we all understand that alt-right bullshit, which is kind of where she's coming from. I mean, that's how she's approaching these tweets. I get a real alt-right vibe from her. We know that's a really active community that likes to spread the money, right? Like, we know. And so who knows? Maybe the Toronto Star is going in that direction. I'll find out at some point, but it's a bizarre situation.
Maybe they just want another look at things. And Marina brings that.
Yeah,
Does it change how they deliver the news, Linz? Maybe not.
I'm hoping
Caryma.
not. I hope it doesn't, because I don't want it to turn into another Toronto Sun, because that's exactly what
a
her
fucking joke
viewpoints, her talking points are like right out of the Brian Lilly handbook.
Yeah.
So and he's just a columnist there. He's not even anybody of importance, really. He's
a fuck. Caryma, you wanted to say something. We interrupted you when I started calling Brian.
No, not at all.
Fuck. Sorry.
Well, just to Lachlan's point, like, even bringing in a different view, if a viewpoint is based on something that's disingenuous or in bad faith, we can't treat that viewpoint as equal. And I'm not necessarily saying that I don't know her well enough, but based on the tweets that I saw, again, it's parroting alt-right talking points. So
it's retweeting alt-right people as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, and that in itself used to be Twitter suicide, right? Like, it's just,
right.
I trust this panel as much as I trust O.J. Simpson. That's from Ray Rout. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate it. I feel the same. I feel absolutely the same. Ray. Anyway, listen, Caryma, we'll let you go. I want to thank you for spending some time with us and joining us. At Caryma Rules is where you can find her on Twitter. She is absolutely everywhere. She is a fantastic lawyer. If you're in a landlord-tenant dispute as well, you've got some questions, or you're just looking to just talk about pot, sadvocacy.com. That is her website. She's also, are you still the ED for Normal? Is that what
I'm not the ED anymore. I'm still on the board, but not
big cannabis advocate too. She's like one of my heroes. Anyway, thanks for doing this, Caryma. Great to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Get that merch out. I want to buy a mug with your glasses on it, please.
Thanks for coming back. I was worried you weren't because of me, so I'm going to have a better long weekend.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye,
Caryma. Caryma Rules, ladies and gentlemen. Sadvocacy.com.
I like her.
You can find her.
She's my favorite.
She's awesome. Rookie's back in. Hey, Rook.
Hi, guys.
By the way, a couple
Rookie's
of
my
names
favorite.
you need to add to the lists that are never going to be on the podcast.
What?
The Marina
Glogovac.
David Lindley. If we haven't already got him on the list, maybe we should put him.
Who's David Lindley?
Brian, any relation?
Brian Lindley. Sorry.
Brian Lilly. Brian
Lilly.
Lilly.
He calls me Lindsay. He calls him Lindley. Fuck, you'll get it one
David
day.
Lindley.
Dude, you know what I love about him is it's funny because I think a lot of people
I
would
just
go.
knew who I was talking about.
He's
A buddy of mine,
fucking
he says to me, "Hey, listen, what do you like about Lachlan?" I'm like, "He's just himself." He goes, "He has a hard time pronouncing certain words, eh?" And I go, "Sometimes it depends on how much he's had to drink." And let me just bring everybody up to date. Prior to getting on the show, how many tins and what's that gin looking like right now?
Well, I had a double gin, and I may have had a couple of cups of coffee with some alcohol in it as well. I don't have a lot of beer left, so I'm drinking the hard booze from above the stove.
They call that an
You're gonna get
escalation.
fucked.
Yeah.
No,
I call that just when the wife leaves the room. I like.
Look. Ice. And then she goes, "I'm familiar with this." And then she, correct me if I'm wrong, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Nothing. Just getting a glass of water." And then you go as fast as you can with that glass of gin downstairs so she doesn't ask any questions. Yes or no?
Well, there is a little bit of judgment from
not
my
yes or no.
wife, when I'm drinking in the middle of the day.
Yeah.
And I get that. Because it's 2 here.
Yeah, I know. I forget about that.
I always
sometimes.
forget.
It's
Yeah, I always
4:20
forget
here,
that
yeah.
too.
Right. So
Rooksy.
listen, she knows
What?
I'm an alcoholic. It's just that at 2:00 in the afternoon, if I'm 6 deep, she's got some concerns, some questions, and there's a conversation at dinner I don't need to have.
Nor will you remember.
Yeah.
Let's hide it.
Well,
Right?
and that was the
Everybody,
point of
that's
this.
called
that was the point of this talking point. Like
Yeah.
Dean said about what his friend said. Like the other day when you were explaining what happened with the Brent and pub night with the tips, and you were trying to explain. You were explaining to us who you were with. It was like you were convincing yourself who it was. You know that guy that has that nerd podcast?
Yeah. I
Brenton.
can't remember. Any
Like
of the
we
names
don't
of
know
them.
who he is, but you're convincing us because all you're doing is just telling yourself.
Can I tell you a quick story about that story?
Yeah,
That
do you want
Lachlan
some
told?
story music for it? You want some story music for it?
It's not going to be that quick, but sure.
Yeah.
If you'd like. Sure.
You said it was going to be a quick story, and then you
quick-
just said it's not going to be that quick.
Oh, yeah.
So is it going to be
on
quick
that.
or not?
I think
Fire it
I
up.
pissed off. Frank.
Like how
Frank
quick?
told
What are
that
we
story.
talking? Are we talking
Talk
60
about-
seconds? Are we talking 3
20
minutes?
seconds, maybe.
Okay,
Make
here
a
you go.
sweet
20 seconds worth of story music. Go ahead.
Hold on. It just came out of my earphones. I don't want it to echo on people right now. This is going great.
Dude,
You're amazing.
you didn't figure this out before you said you wanted to tell a story? Like
No,
that-
see,
that
my
all you
AirPods just died. So
Okay,
that's
no
fine.
problem. You're
You're
good.
not echoing. We can
When
we can hear you.
when Lachlan told that story, he started doing his Lachlan long-winded lock. So I'm like, I got some time. I'll go take the dog out for a walk. Well, I took the dog out for a walk and came back, and he was still telling the story. And I left the computer on my island, waiting. I'm just like, I'll probably come back and be able to catch the back half of what he's going to say. And you were still getting through the story about the tip. I went, I walked the dog to the
It's a
corner.
long story.
She went
Yeah.
to the washroom twice. I
Yeah.
picked up the poo,
Mail?
Wasn't
came
that?
back, put it inside the bin, came upstairs, took all my stuff off, and you still weren't done.
I had to clip it. because I wanted
Sorry.
to get a clip with Brenton's response that he had put out on Twitter. And Brenton's response, 45 seconds.
Yeah,
Lachlan's story,
45
18
minutes. Yeah.
A couple of windbags.
It happens. Yeah. I don't
It
get
does
too
happen.
concerned about it because usually there's a sweet payoff in there. There might be 2 or 3.
Yeah.
And traditionally, Locke says something he shouldn't that gets him in trouble.
It's amazing.
So I wait for that and I enjoy it. Yeah.
Mhm.
I just sit
Same.
back and go, I don't care how long the story's going to be. I care how mad his wife's going to be after it. That's all I care about.
less
Thank
amount
God
of
she
work that
doesn't
we have
watch
to
this
do.
podcast.
She doesn't watch this show. She should.
Yeah. No, she
Can we
should.
chat real quick about your boy Elon Musk, Rook? Your boy Elon?
Yeah.
He went
know
all
what
in
Tesla-
today. Can you
Okay,
imagine?
I
having
I
this
have a
much
lot
money?
of questions. Does anybody
I do.
have
We're gonna get to it. Yeah, I
the
got some stuff.
question I have
Yeah.
of why? Like
Well, I'm gonna get to that.
Okay, I just
You
think
got a slide for it and everything.
the whole point of this being
Oh, boy.
just
I'm going to go walk the dog.
no,
Gonna go
hold
make a
on.
drink.
I'll be quick.
Hang
I'll be
on.
quick.
Stay here, Rook.
This
All right.
can't just be because they censored a couple of his tweets. Am I wrong?
Correct. You're right.
Okay.
You're wrong. You're wrong and right. You're right that it's not because they
Just
censored a
that.
couple tweets. Follow me with this one if you can.
Okay,
So
I'm on board.
last week, Elon announces, I'm going to buy 9.2% of Twitter. You guys remember that? Shook the
Yep.
world. Everybody's like, fuck, who's got $3 billion in the bank? Well, Elon, he's got actually at $273 million. Now, after that was announced, the Twitter CEO announces, we've welcomed Elon to the board of directors. Following a background check, he'll be welcomed into the board where we'll work with him in making Twitter better. Nice note, right?
Very
Which
diplomatic.
what he really meant was, holy fuck.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
can't believe that happened. So we're going to try and figure something out.
But I think you're right.
Well, so here's what happened. Now, we posted a story about it at deemlundell.com. You're more than welcome to go and read it. Elon Musk launched a hostile takeover bid for Twitter after his orgy fetish surfaced, bothering board members. Now, that last part will be of interest to some people, and it is true. I have it on very good authority, excellent authority, that and it is public news. You can Google this. You can look for it. Very
Is
well
it?
absolutely.
It is.
Google Elon Musk sex club. At the
Zorro
time
mask.
of Elon Musk's 9.2% takeover of Twitter's stock and the admission to the board, the CEO says we're going to run a background check. Magically, a few days later, a note comes out that says Elon's not joining the board. Part of our due diligence is background checks and a bunch of other stuff, and then background checks, and there's a bunch of other stuff. And he's like, plus background checks. And at the end of it, I'm like, oh, so you did a background check and it turned up dirty. But the fucking crazy part was all these other stories started to pop up on major news outlets about Elon Musk banned from the Kit Kat Club in Germany for trying to poop on somebody.
What?
Elon
Been
Musk was seen, been there, done that.
Tyranny.
There.
Who hasn't?
Tonight, entry into Berlin 6. So they don't let him in because he likes to poo?
I don't
on
know.
things?
They didn't let him in for some reason. They would not admit him to a series of sex clubs, including Bergheim, another one called the Kit Kat Club, another one on the outskirts of Berlin where stuff happens and you need like antibiotics when you leave, that kind of shit.
Oh, wow.
So apparently, my understanding is Elon was found out during this, and or Twitter and the people at Twitter used the ability that they have to get news out and marshaled the truth about his sex habits and weirdness, right? After failing the background check, today, you are all waking up to this news that Elon Musk has now offered to splash out $43 billion to buy all of Twitter because he's that mad and he's that crazy, and there is a very serious issue with his background check.
Like, talk about an expensive.
There's
way to
nothing
keep
in
a
here
secret.
about poo. The Zorro mask is here, but there's nothing about poo.
The Zorro mask is the best. They're like, he was at like 40. People were like, there's Elon Musk in a
Wow.
Zorro mask.
There
It would,
is a-
apparently,
And
he
what-
beat off into like a plant and something like that.
Yeah, what did it change? What did he say? It was like $53 a share, right? That he was going to pay.
Yeah.
Right now, Twitter publicly, I can go buy Twitter for $45. So he really wants to fucking take it because he wants to overpay for his shares.
50% premium.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what makes this interesting because, and we were talking about this morning, right? Like, how can they say no? It's always about money. Like, how many people on the board that make the decision for the final purchase are going to have the
think they're-
balls to say,
It's
listen,
so
we can't
serious.
sell this. We can't sell this to Elon Musk because of integrity issues.
Yeah.
So we're going to say no to billions of dollars. Sorry, everybody.
And
That's not the world we
that's
live
not,
in.
Yeah, exactly. That's Dean and I were having this conversation before you popped in today.
Yeah.
Saying that, morals aside, I'm sorry, but you're in this business to make money.
And what
Yes.
exactly did he
That's
do? He went
big
to a
money.
sex club with a Zorro mask.
If just so you know, he has like 9 kids with 3 different women. He's the weirdest individual in the world. The rules don't apply to him, which is why we're here, right? So we're here, and where we are is Elon Musk, and we're finding out in real time how much it costs to do business without any background checks. It's $43 billion. He took $43 billion of his own dollars to hide the information that is out there
Well, he's
about
not
him.
hiding it very well. I just read 14 stories about
What
the
else
sex
is out there?
club in Berlin.
What else is out there, dude? That's the thing. What else is
Yeah,
out there?
there's probably other things that haven't come to light yet.
I know there's other things. Mr.
Yeah.
Musk is into the weird
Musk
shit.
wore spikes and chains to
Well,
the
it's like I
sex
said.
party.
What's the difference between crazy and eccentric? It's money.
It's
Like,
money.
Yeah.
So,
if
and
you-
here's the other thing at play here. I want to throw this out, and I'd love everybody's opinion. Rookie,
Who
you're a big
hasn't
crypto
worn
guy.
a Zorro mask out for a night?
you're crypto, bro. Yeah.
Since when?
Never.
All the cuck bucks I have in my wallet.
Bucks.
Sorry, Scott Trades.
You do look like a watcher rookie.
And what is
Sitting
it?
in
Greg Floss?
sitting
No,
in the
Greg
corner.
Floss, not Floss.
Greg Foss, not
Floss.
Floss.
Not Floss.
All right, now whose fucking name's up now?
He doesn't work for the network, and I don't work with him every day like you
We
do
don't
with
talk
Dan
to him
Lindley.
constantly. And me
Okay,
and Lindsay,
So here's the thing about Musk. Me and
Brian
Lindsay.
Lindley.
Brian Lindley. Randy Lindbergh. What's that guy's name, Randy Lindbergh? Jerry Hilliers. Dude, in this podcast, you called porn porns.
There was more than one on the bill.
It's like
I
people
tried to
call
get
it
the hotel to
Costco's.
let me pay for them
Tried
too,
to
so they didn't show up on the accounting and at the.
That's always tough.
But they wouldn't let me. They were like, "No, they got it." And I'm like, there's
So-
4 porns on that bill.
Porn.
I should probably pick that up myself.
Four
And then the
porns.
woman, she was really pretty behind the desk, and I didn't really want to spend much time sitting there.
She
Don't
didn't
wanna
like
tell her
you
about your
anyway, dude.
porning?
No offense.
With all
So
your
here's the
porns.
thing. Here's the thing with the Elon Musk stuff, and I
Didn't get that
wanna
job.
Finish this off. Is
Got 4 free porns though.
Porn.
Sir, did you order Shiza 1, 2, 3, and 4 last night? Is that what it says on this bill?
It's the Musk special.
Did you order the Elon Musk package?
You got the Elon Musk pack. It's just like 4 movies of chicks taking dumps on each other. It's the weirdest thing.
Sorry, we're out of the complimentary Zorro mask.
Just so everyone knows, I do not order porn where people are pooing on each other.
You mean porns?
You're in the porn stance right now, Ricky.
Ricky.
Anyway, Ricky.
We lost Lindley.
Oh, you got his name right, at least, so that's good.
You lost Danny boy.
He is. He's a little like
shit.
Ricky from Trailer Park Boys, isn't he? Like he's got a real Ricky vibe when it comes to saying stuff.
Case Ontario.
Well, worst case, Ontario will be fine.
What comes around is all around.
Yeah, we'll just phone Randy Lindbergh. Everything will be good, bud.
right.
Anyway, back to Elon. So it creates a couple of problems. Now, here's the thing, is that if you are on Twitter, you have nothing to worry about, okay? I don't know if Elon Musk... Well, you know what? Having said that, actually, let me rephrase. If you're on Twitter now, you have something to worry about. Elon Musk made an emotional $40 billion purchase this morning. Like, I don't know many people that do that. And he was so mad that he failed the background check or they didn't want to sell it to him or kind of treated him like shit that he actually sent this letter today. And this letter is indicative of what he really wants. So he sends a letter to Brent Taylor, chairman of the board. This is what it says. I invested in Twitter as I believe in its potential to be the platform of free speech around the globe. It's not. I believe in free speech. It's essential and societal imperative for a functioning democracy. However, since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve this societal imperative in its current form. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. As a result, I'm offering to buy 100% of Twitter for $54.20 per share in cash. 54% premium over the day before I began investing on Twitter. 38% premium over the day before my investment was publicly announced. My offer is my best and final offer. And if it is not accepted, I would reconsider my position as a shareholder. Twitter has extraordinary potential. I will unlock it. Signed, Elon Musk. And then he sent this other note. As I indicated this weekend, I believe the company should be private to go through the changes that need to be made. After the past several days of thinking this over, I've decided I want to acquire the company and take it private. I'm going to send you an offer letter tonight. It'll be in the morning. Are you available to chat? Best and final. I'm not paying the back and forth game. I've moved straight to the end. It's a high price, and your shareholders will love it. He is correct. If the deal doesn't work, given that I don't have confidence in management, nor do I believe that I can drive necessary change in the public market, I would need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. This is not a threat, simply not a good investment without the changes that need to be made. So he made a bad investment the first time is what he's saying, $3 billion. It's just a terrible investment. And those changes won't happen without taking the company private. My advisors and team are available after you get this letter to answer any questions. There will be more detail in our public filings after you receive the letter and view the public filings. Your team can call my family office. I don't know what the fuck that means. With any questions. Thanks, Elon. So
There's something more here.
Is that not market?
you guys
This is
are
market
totally-
manipulation.
Yeah.
It's total market manipulation. Yeah, because everybody's jumping in on Twitter. It's
not
been up
that
and down
dumb.
all day. He's doing something.
The minute he put it public, what did it shoot up? $600 million. Like his investment alone, it grew $600
On the
million
original
in a
$3 billion.
day. Yeah. Like, I'm sure the SEC's got something to say about what he's pulling here because I don't
They
think
always do. They're mad at him about every time he makes a transaction like this, Linz, he gets in shit. He's under investigation for past issues, right? And I don't know enough about it to know how gray the area that we're dealing with is. But I'm telling you right now that the guy, whether you like the guy or not, whether you appreciate or judge him for his kinks or fetishes or whatever we're calling it today, the guy is not fucking dumb. And there's more to this Twitter purchase than we know. Like there's an end game for Elon Musk here.
Yeah, he wants to take it over because it's endless potential for money making if he does make it private. And you have look at what Zuckerberg has. Zuckerberg, he wants to follow in the same footsteps of Zuckerberg, but keep it as a private company is what he wants to do. So he has total control over the messaging that gets fucking sent to billions of users around the world.
I think it's even more interesting than that, and I think you're right, and I think you're right, but I think it's even deeper than that, and I just need you to hear me out for a second. Over the past 5 years, he has spent 5 years and millions of dollars suing people, blocking people, trying to get different people put on Twitter, marking Twitter, telling Twitter they're wrong, where's the free speech. He literally hates the fact that he cannot do what he wants, when he wants, and how he wants, right? And when you have $300 billion in your sock drawer, you get pretty used to the entitlement and the access to anything and the ability to do anything you want, say anything you want, which is why he seems to think this is all about democracy. But it is not about free speech for him, because this guy has blocked thousands and thousands of people. Not only has he blocked thousands of people, he's taken legitimate legal steps to sue people to prevent them from talking about him, reporting on his share price, talking about his insider trading stuff, talking about anything illegal, which Ryan talked about, Lachlan talked about in terms of the investigations. So you might think this is him telling everybody, he's like, it's about free speech, it's about democracy. It is not. He might be the smartest guy in the world. I'm not taking that away from him. He might be able to make Twitter better. I'm not taking that away from him. But that is not why he pushed all his chips in today and said, here's 40 billion. Give me the whole thing. I'll pay double for what it's worth just for you guys to fuck off, because he wants to control the narrative and make everybody subject to his subjective reality. That's what he wants to do. It's like, you know what it's like? It's like the metaverse, but on Twitter, and he wants to control it. He wants and not because he wants us to have a fucking great time, not because he wants all of us to enjoy ourselves, not because he really believes in Twitter. He does not. What he gets really upset about is when someone tells him what he can and can't do, because he spent his entire life accruing enough influence, money, and power to be able to do anything he wants. And again, here's the other part of that. I get the popularity. I get why people are like, fuck, Elon Musk is the best, because he's us. Right? He's that kid that went to Guelph. He's that immigrant student. He's that really smart kid that came from nothing. Same with Zuckerberg. He stole his way to the top, but whatever. Ask the Winklevoss guys and that Eduardo Sabarin dude. Yeah. But the bottom line is this, is that he has enough money at this point in his life to do whatever he wants and literally make everyone else live according to the reality that he thinks is best for everybody else. That is what this is. That is what Facebook is. That is what social media is. And that is what all these companies like AIQ are trying to do. It's a culture thing, and it's a him thing. It's got nothing to do with him going, I see the potential of Twitter. I think it could be better. You know what he's thinking? He's thinking, what a fucking weapon I'm trying to buy. That's what he's thinking. I can use this weapon to do whatever the fuck I want, and it is a weapon. Do I blame him? Not really. I mean, would we all do the same if we had that kind of money and influence?
Yeah, that's
maybe.
What
I'd like to think that I wouldn't, though, because I'd like to think that I want to be a happy person instead of a guy who just walks around settling scores because I'm just a fucking wiener.
But why have fuck you money when you can't say fuck you from time to time?
I'm with Rook. I would be a raging dick with that kind of money.
Yeah, like just think though, Dean. Like seriously, if it was us, or if it was you in particular, could you imagine if you had that, and then you all of a sudden you're just like, you know what, Bell Media pissed me off today. I'm just gonna buy Bell.
Buy it.
I'm gonna buy TSN.
Bell. I'm gonna buy TSN,
and we're gonna run Edmonton Elk highlights for 24/7
all day long. Yeah,
and that's exactly what it is. It's. You're right. I think you're right. It's a guy that has unlimited resources to settle punitive, stupid little petty scores
with everybody.
It's the ultimate
with everybody. Oh, dude.
Okay, now the next conversation is, and I'm well aware that he's not necessarily a Trump guy, but I think he puts Trump back on.
Absolutely,
yeah, of course he will.
Dude, Trump will have multiple accounts. His diaper will have a fucking account. Trump's full diaper.
Trump's dumps.
We should actually start that Twitter account before he gets back on. Rook, get on that.
I got a picture of someone just sent me a picture of him in the Kit Kat Club dressed in the Zorro mask, by the way.
Shut up.
Oh, come on. Let's see this.
There you go.
That's not him.
That's not Elon.
That's not him.
That's not him. That's a porn.
That's from porns.
That's from porns, Lock.
Yeah.
I looked up Zorro mask porn on Google. Don't do that,
Oops.
by the way. Yeah.
Flagged.
I saw a lot of guys. Just
We're not going to
so
judge
know.
you, Dean. See how this works?
Yeah,
We're
thanks.
not
buddy. I
judging
appreciate
you for your kink.
it. Can we talk real quick about something that happened yesterday? And then I'll let everybody go. It's a long weekend, Friday. We're not going to be here tomorrow.
Happy Holy Thursday.
We're not coming in tomorrow
Nah.
to spread
On
the
Good Friday?
good word of the Lord.
No, I
No,
figured
I'm
it'd be
rabbit hunting
sacrilegious.
this weekend.
Yeah.
To mark
Are you
the,
really rabbit hunting this weekend?
No.
to mark the
Oh, Easter. Yeah, I forgot.
to mark the anniversary of Jesus's bad weekend.
He had a terrible weekend. I don't know why
Terrible
they call it. Can I be honest? I don't know why they call it Good Friday.
It wasn't that good,
It
especially
wasn't great
for
for
that
Jesus.
So
Probably
I don't
something.
know what happened on
Sucked.
Good Friday. Can
We
you
got
guys
murdered.
day. That's when they put him up on the cross, and then he came back for zombie Jesus on Sunday.
That's
on
right.
Sunday? Okay.
Yeah, so
He
like
came
they
back
say,
for
he died
the-
for your
yeah.
sins. He
Yeah.
really just had an inconvenient weekend for your sins. Is what
Yeah.
He
happened.
came back because the NFL games were starting on Sunday.
Why
And
do
the
they
Patriots
call him?
and-
Why do
and
they call it
Jets.
Good Friday if they killed him? Like,
Well,
I
that's
don't
that's
get that.
that's the conundrum that we've been suffering from
Okay.
for hundreds of years. It's like Good Friday, and Jesus is up there in the clouds going, seriously, right now?
That's good.
Yeah. Oh, it
They
was great, guys. Why didn't we call it Great Friday?
Sure, go ahead. You nailed me to the cross, stuck a thing in my side, and maybe drink vinegar. Great Friday, you fucking losers. That's what I
That
said. I
lasts
was
for
Christ.
45 minutes.
I
that
learned a
crown
lot
on my
this
head.
podcast.
Put that crown
So-
on my head and then called me a king.
Yeah. And
Sorry.
he got listen. A lot of mixed messages that day for the Christ.
You guys really do confuse me about religion. I'm gonna say that out loud.
You're welcome.
You're not helping me.
It's last.
We're not trying to. We're just
Okay.
trying to take a strip off it before we get to the story. So Good Friday this weekend.
God bless.
We're
Well,
not doing a show tomorrow. I do want to tell everybody last night was maybe one of the weirdest nights in sports. Lachlan and I were sitting there talking on the phone, and we're watching the Blue Jays game.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and weird night in sports because I came to this insane realization while I'm watching the game. So I don't know if you watched the Jays Yankees. Jays Yankees played game 3 of a 4-game set. They won 6-3 yesterday. No big deal. It was all Vlad. First inning hits a home run. Aaron Hicks drops it over the fence. Home run. No big deal. Garrett Cole on the mound. Maybe the hardest, best throwing pitcher in all of baseball right now. He hit a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Center field out of the park, 437 home runs, and just sauntered around the bases.
It was
No-
like
and we're like
1,300 feet of like home runs that he put
last
in.
night, yeah, he was
Yeah.
1,300 feet of home runs last
Is
night.
it hard to hit home runs in Yankees? Like comparatively to no,
Not
it's easier.
well. The right field fence it is. Left field fence it is not. Like
Okay.
right porch is short. It's one of the shortest.
because
in Major League
some
Baseball.
fields
Yeah.
are harder than others. Right?
Mhm.
He
So
didn't
the
hit
Yankee-
any.
Yeah,
Not for the
So he didn't hit
Yankees.
any to
There's
right
time
field.
stealing. So
Yeah.
okay, that's sorry for another day.
He hit dead away, dead center field, and then 2 jacks to left field. Now, here's the thing: it's prior to hitting those 2 jacks to left field. After the first home run, he gets his fucking finger stepped on
Yeah.
by Aaron Hicks at first base. I'm going to show you the picture. This is in the first inning. Look at his finger, just fucked. He goes into the dugout to get it looked at. Charlie Montoyo, the manager, is like this. Do you want to come out? And this was Vlad. You fucking crazy? No, I'm me.
Yeah.
Coming out of the game. It's sliced laceration, 2 stitches after the game. He plays the rest of the game. What does he do the rest of the game? Well, interesting. This was his second at bat immediately after having his finger sliced open for 2 stitches.
Swinging a drive, deep left field. Get up, ball, get out of here, and gone. Vladdy Guerrero, you can step on my hand, but it's not going to hold me back.
Well, they got one now, and it's a long one. That might have been more impressive than his home run his first time up. That deep drive to center field, that was a laser shot.
So that was his second home run of the evening. That was in the second inning, and that was like half an inning after getting his index finger sliced open on his throwing hand. So just bear me out. Let's fast forward to a couple of other innings. So they go up 4-3. Yankees stage a little comeback. Up walks Vlad. So he then goes and hits a double after that. And then the next inning, here's the great part. He
you had to
does
reach for that double.
He does. He does it again. Again, let me remind you, he's playing with an incredibly lacerated finger, and he's already hit 2 dongs prior to this. Watch it.
He is 3 for 3 so far. Check that. He's had 1 4-hit game, and Vladdy has done it again. Way back into the second deck. Have a night, Vladdy.
Well, no sooner that you get it out of your mouth, that he's had 1 3-homer game, he's going to do it again. 4 extra base hits, 14 total bases, 3 home runs and a double, and a huge insurance run for the.
I have never in my life seen an athlete in a Toronto Blue Jays uniform be this dominant. Ever. And I've been watching it for fucking 40 years.
That's a bold statement.
All of that, well, it gets even better because I'm going to blow him even more, so hang on there. All of that happened after he did this. I want you to watch how bad the injury was to his finger.
No balance. Ooh. At the end of this play, it looked like Guerrero got stepped on right there.
Yes, he
Not
did.
good.
Did you see that? Aaron Hicks, 230 pounds, full speed, stepped on his finger. He shakes it off, gets it wrapped up, goes back out, hits 2 more jacks, totaling 1,384 feet.
That's it. Yeah.
1,384 feet, and single-handedly wins the game for the Toronto Blue Jays. I have never seen a baseball player this good in my life. I've never, other than Barry Bonds.
He's good on the field, too.
He's incredible.
He's good off the field as well. He's something to watch. Did you see that video of him in the locker room with the instant camera?
Disposable camera.
Little disposable. He doesn't even have a phone.
Doesn't have a cell phone.
He's got a disposable Kodak yellow box. He was taking pictures of everybody.
Dude, he is such an incredible throwback. Dude, he doesn't have a cell phone. He gets injured in the middle of a baseball game, says, fucking tape it up, let me go back up there. Hits 2 more jacks, comes off, doesn't grab his cell phone, doesn't have one. He goes to his bag and gets one of several of these disposable cameras and just starts taking pictures of everybody in the change room. I don't know. And, Rookie, let me ask you this. Do you remember? I don't ever remember a better. I think we can have nice things. Like, it's the first time I've been able to, because I'm old enough to remember when we had those T-shirts, Toronto can't have nice things. Remember those things? During the Dirge, you've got the best baseball player in all of baseball. He is going to be generationally good if he continues to do this. You've also got Austin Matthews sitting on 58. He goes tonight. He's going to probably score 65, 70 goals this year. I'm actually happy for the first time in my fucking life to be from Toronto because of the sports.
Raptors are good too.
The Raptors, 5th seed, going to play the Sixers in the playoffs. They were like a 12 seed preseason. It's good to be us. It's good to be from the city of Toronto, finally. And I'm actually proud of the athletes in this city now. You know what I mean?
You know what you guys need? You guys need
Connor McDavid.
Yep.
No, you need some sort of broadcasting group that focuses on the sports in the Toronto area.
You know what? They just do that for the Leafs, Lock.
So
they only suck the Leafs off.
Because we don't get enough Toronto sports news here in Western Canada. I think you guys, we're onto something. We should write this down. No bad ideas, guys.
No.
Okay.
What do you guys think about calling it the Toronto Sports Network?
We should. That's true. They should leave with the Edmonton baseball
There's
team.
an acronym there too.
Wait a second.
TSN, yeah, we
TSN, where you guys spend all the time blowing Toronto sports franchises. I just think we're onto something here, guys. Write a letter.
People hate it, but like the Blue Jays are if Canada's team, because even though they're from Toronto,
I watch the Blue
unless
Jays.
you live in BC,
I'm impressed with Vladdy. I am. He's unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
If you live in BC, you might like Seattle because of the proximity, but for the most part, if you're in Canada, you like the Blue Jays.
A lot of people will watch the Mariners because you can drive down there for a game, right? But I think even in Toronto, even when I was in BC, we cheered for the Blue Jays, right? And it didn't hurt that in 92, Joe,
92, 93,
Joe Carter,
92, 93. I mean, it didn't hurt. That was right around the time that I started really getting into the Jays. when they were winning. Yeah.
Yeah, but dude, it's different here. Like I know you've got the Oilers, and there's a couple other professional sports franchises, all hockey teams across Canada. But no, that's not a professional sports team.
Number one,
watching like having the Leafs securely in the playoffs, having the Raptors securely in the playoffs, having the Jays be a wagon. Those are all fucking great things. I'm talking about the emergence of Vlad as the best player in baseball, and we get to watch every single one of those fucking games.
How long do you think
I'm talking about the gratefulness of being able to watch Austin. Like, I'm legitimately grateful to turn on a Leaf game now. And I haven't felt like this in a long time.
Come on,
grateful.
The Raptors.
Dude, I'm grateful to watch
Siakam.
Freddie and Pascal emerge too. It's great, but this is a different fucking thing.
This is different.
Like,
this is on a
Austin
different level.
Matthews is a world-beating goal scorer, the likes of which we have never seen in the 100+ years of this franchise. Vlad is the best player to ever put on a Blue Jays uniform. They're that impactful. They're that fucking good. And it's been forever. Like, even when Matt Sundin was here, back when the Jays were here, Robbie Alomar, as great as he was, is not going to be anywhere close to the same conversation as 1967. There you go. You had to do it. As Vlad by the time he's done his career. Do you know what I mean? Like, these guys are that good, and we're just starting to realize it because every night they do shit that nobody else in the league can do. What Vlad did last night was beat an entire New York Yankees team. And after
even the
game,
Yankees,
Garrett
were
Cole,
like,
dude, Aaron Boone, all the guys, like Garrett Cole after the game, he's like, he killed us. I've never seen anything like that. I have been in baseball for a long time, and I've been the best pitcher for a long time. There's Gretz. I love him too. It's Gretzky-esque, right? Like, that's what we're talking about.
No, that was just because he's crying leaving Edmonton.
Leaving Edmonton. That was the
Thanks, buddy. No, but the gratefulness that I have to be able to watch this in real time in my lifetime, and I felt that way when I watched Jordan, felt that way when I watched Tiger, and I'm legitimately getting the same feels when I watch Vlad and Austin Matthews.
Mm-hmm. He almost had a fifth at bat in the ninth inning.
Mm-hmm.
He was on deck. And they went 3 for 3 and ended up winning the game. But I would have liked to have seen him crank 4 out. Hey, how many people have cranked 4 home runs in a game? I mean, that fucking list is small.
Several, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I've been trying to put my finger on it too with Vladdy and what he's doing. And I was like, in the last article I wrote about him, I kind of compared him to David Ortiz, but a lot more athletic.
Poppy.
And then the more I was thinking about it, I think that because it's a tall task, and I think he's on his way if he keeps playing this well, but I think he has shades of being close to like a Miguel Cabrera kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
Athletic, he can hit bombs, he plays, he's like a team guy. Miguel Cabrera was a monster, Hall of Famer. It's obviously a tall task. He's still early in his career, super young still. Like, I think I saw a stat yesterday that the number 1 prospect in baseball, Vlad's younger than him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and the other thing they're saying about Vladdy is
23.
that most guys don't.
8 kids.
Most guys don't hit their stride. Who has 8 kids?
Oh, he's got like 4 kids or 3 kids already. Vlad. He had like
Vlad.
Oh yeah. He started having kids.
No
when
wonder
he was like
he doesn't
17.
have a phone. He doesn't want them to call him.
That's it.
So apparently you don't get to that point in your career like where he's at with the swing and the consistency until you get 25, 26 years old, right?
Right. Yeah. And he's been doing this now. Last year he should have been the MVP, even though Shohei Ohtani did win the award.
That was incredible, though.
Pissed about that this year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, man, it's been fucking awesome to watch. So watch those Blue Jays. They go. I think are they playing right now? I think they're playing the Yankees right now.
No,
Match. Or are they playing tonight?
Playing at 5 our time.
Oh,
so
playing
2
5
hours.
So 7 our time. Okay, yeah. It's a rubber match against it, so it's going to be fucking awesome. But watch these guys, man. Jesus.
A couple
Christ.
of shutouts in the first 2 games.
Yeah.
I was on obviously Blue Jays Twitter last night, just trying to look for tweets that shit all over the Yankees, and I saw a Yankees beat writer that basically was alluding to like, oh well, when does the MLB send him a random drug test?
Oh,
and I was like, come on, because like he's just on a
Vladdy
tear,
look
but like
because he's not good.
No, because that's what I'm
dude,
saying. Because he's just tearing the face off the baseball, and Even in football, if like a football player has a good game, they're hit with a random drug test the next day. Random.
Yeah,
that's to be expected.
And one of the things, so the second at bat, and you go back, I go back to this because I watch a lot of baseball. But the second at bat, the second home run that he had of the game, that was like a 98-mile-an-hour inside fastball running in on his hands, like 98. You know how hard it is to fucking hit a fastball in Major League Baseball. They say in sports the hardest thing to do in any sport ever is to hit a fucking 98-mile-an-hour fastball and get it in play, not jack it over the fence by 450 feet. And not only that, he got in front of it. Like, he got in front of an inside fastball running in on his hands to the point Marcus Stroman, who I fucking hate, he tweeted, dude, no one's supposed to hit that pitch. Nobody. And Garrett Cole then tipped his hat. He's like, fuck, I don't even know what to do with this guy. Like, that's how fucking much of a machine he is. Back to the Cabrera conversation. He's
I like the fact that I got to give Yankees some props. They're throwing at him.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like last year,
Garrett
I
Cole's
think
dead
part of the frustration of watching the Jays.
Look at Garrett Cole after the game. He's like, oh fuck, and listening to him, he was so demure. He was like, I don't know, we just got beat by a guy. Guy's a fucking freak.
Part of the frustration of watching the Jays last year is every time Vladdy got up, they were walking him. Especially that last 2 months of the season, because the Jays were sort of part of the conversation there for that wild card spot. And then Vladdy, there was all the MVP chatter, but they were in the dirt on him the whole time, right? Like, so he was walking to first base a lot, which is, I like watching games like it was on last night where they're going to see if they can fucking sit him down. And he's going to see if he can crank one into the fucking stands, right? Like, that's fun to watch. Fun to watch.
No, yeah. When teams get players like this, it adds such an element to, like, I'm a passive fan when it comes to baseball. If it's on, I'll watch it. I'm not looking for the game though. But when you have a guy like him and there's so much buzz and he's doing so well and it's hot. And Toronto's been that way in the last decade. They've had a few years, minus the pandemic, obviously, where they created that buzz for passive fans like me to be like, fuck, I want to watch this game now.
Well, and go
yeah,
too. Like,
I'm
coming in May, and I'm like, fuck, I gotta see.
Yeah, we'll go to a Jays game.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll go down. We'll get the in the action seats. They're fucking awesome. Yeah. They're right on the field. They're cool. Anyway, just a good time to be from Toronto. Matter of time before Connor McDavid gets traded for a bunch of spare parts, and he's here too. We'll take all the nice things. We will. He's gonna get sick of being there, dude. Watch it. He's gonna go like, fuck, I like this house, but like that's all there is here. I got a nice house. That's it. I got to get the fuck out of it.
You know what? All three of you guys need to do. All three of you need to just walk outside and just take a look around at what you're dealing with. It's not that fucking bad in Edmonton.
Looks pretty nice outside right now.
I've been to Toronto
right now.
Yeah, you guys aren't fucking shitting rainbows out of your asses in Toronto either.
No, I didn't say we did, but we do have an NBA team, and
you have to come to Toronto to go see a baseball game.
That's an expensive ticket. Anyway,
baseball here could be awesome too, and we just get this I don't even know what we have here, and it's great when you go to a game, even the minor league stuff, we go and we just get shit tanked and eat a bunch of hot dogs.
You do.
That's what we do here, but for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's good. It's good baseball.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fun. I love going to the games, even if I don't even know what the league is.
It's PCL League, I believe is what it's called. The Edmonton,
I don't know
used
if
to
the
be
PCL
called the
is here
Trappers.
anymore.
Were they the Trappers or something like that?
They're not here
became something
anymore. It
else?
switches every year. I don't know why.
Lethbridge Thunderbangers, or
the old Thunderbangers, yeah.
The old Thunderbangers.
Thanks, boys. Appreciate you doing this. That is Ryan Lindley from the Sheeple Shepherd podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Follow him at Ryan Lindley. That is Rookie. Forget it. I'd give you his Twitter handle.
We might be doing one this weekend, by the way.
That's fine.
You might be doing a Sheeple Shepherd podcast. It's been a while.
Yeah. Ashley got onto something that's pretty interesting, and she talked to me about it today, and we might actually do a show about it. So
cool.
Tune in. We'll do a live one.
All right. I'm doing a live show. That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
All right. I'll watch that. That is Rookie.
Good Friday. Hi.
What's that? What'd you say?
I said they're going to break down Good Friday and Easter weekend.
That'd be good. That'd be awesome. So here's what happened 2,000 years ago.
I'm doing I'm actually
for the
have
Christ.
something. I have something to announce. Actually, I'm doing a live Stations of the Cross tomorrow by myself.
Are you guys actually? Are you guys sending me right to hell?
I'm gonna act
like
it
just
out
being a
on-
part of
on
this.
the,
If this does
restream.
exist, am I going to be?
I'm gonna paint myself like a stained glass window and do them all.
Body paint, something.
Body paint a stained glass window.
Elon
Yes.
Musk is into that too, I think.
Melissa, yes, there's a show on Monday. There's a show on Monday. We're just taking Friday off. Hey, by the way, an update on the Slava Ukraine shirts.
Yes, please.
Raising money to send to Alex in the Ukraine. If you go to the Dean Blundell store, you can not only purchase that lovely yellow shirt, which is, by the way, mine showed up. It is a fantastic quality.
Why aren't you wearing it?
Because I was going to wait until Alex was on next, when we had Alex on next week. You can also donate cash. So I had Scotty, my guy with the merch that's helping me out, do some quick dirty math on the t-shirts and the cash donations. And everyone knows about the anonymous $1,000 cash donation that we got yesterday. Thank you, sir. I know you don't want to be named, but we appreciate it. Colin Bruce from Colin Bruce Mortgage Team in Edmonton, services Alberta and BC, soon coming to Ontario. He threw $1,500 at the cause. So with the cash donations, the t-shirt sales, we are, I think, a stone's throw away from $4,000 already, and we're going to go till the end of April.
Amazing.
Wow.
Isn't that fucking crazy? We've raised $4,000 already.
Yeah, in a week.
Like, I can't believe
that's incredible.
That's unbelievable. So thank you very, very much. By the way, there's a bunch of other stuff on the store as well. You can go and grab one of those goat shirts as well. Hey,
the Albanian pirate received his shirt today. You just said a lot of people have it, and there's the thing: is if you get one, post a picture of it. We'd love to see it.
Yeah,
tag us.
Tag us on Twitter, and we'll retweet it.
DaCosta said he wants a shirt, but he wants to borrow $50 from me so he can do it. Yeah. We should just start buying.
Sounds like every one of my friends.
I
went to the bar one time. Jimmy goes, "Fuck, Locke, ended the month. I am really tight." And he said, we're not getting paid till Monday. Listen, can you lend me $100? And if you know me and you know my relationship with Jimmy, I will always take care of him. He's a stepson to me. So I'm like, and he's kind of leaning in. He's kind of embarrassed that he's out of cash. And I said, fuck, don't worry, man. I'll go to the bank machine. I'll get you a honey.
Nice guy.
So I go to the bank machine. We're at the Pint, which is downtown Edmonton here. And I peel off five 20s and I sort of slip it to him underneath the table, right? And literally 10 seconds later, he whips the cash out and he goes, "Next round's on me."
I love people like that.
And
I fucking love them.
What the fuck, dude? You just asked me for $100 and now you're buying everybody beer with it? And he's like,
yeah,
yes.
There's like 7 of us at the table.
That's my favorite. You remember those guys like out of high school that when they first got their first credit card, guys, fuck, we're going fucking hard. We're going everywhere.
The card. Yeah. We're all the same.
They all still have credit scores in the low 500s now.
Is that bad?
I don't think so.
Is that bad? Is fair bad? When you check the credit rating, it's like, it says fair. Is that wrong?
Credit Karma blocked my emails.
That's fascinating. Anyway, thank you for making sure that you got that in lock. I really appreciate it. Supporting Alex is a big deal. He's going to buy cookies, diapers. He's going to support local restaurants trying to take food to guys literally legitimately fighting on the front lines. It's what Alex does. He'll be on the show with us on Tuesday, and I would encourage you to follow him at Daywar Beckhoff is where you can follow him on Twitter, and you can have a look at some of the stuff that he's trying to show people. We have him on weekly, but he's incredible. So if you could donate, we would appreciate it. We're up to almost $4,000. We'd like to. The goal this week, we said we'd get to like $3,000 by the end of the month. We only have like 16 more days to do that, and we've already passed it. And I would love to get it to 10. I'd love to get it to 20. I'd love to get as much money to Alex and the people of Ukraine as we can. So that would be great. And yeah, I'd like to buy him one of those tanks that the Ukrainian farmers are just pulling out of fields and shit. Those videos are incredible. Yesterday, I'm like, What is this? They had a surface-to-air missile launcher for sale in like Dubrovka, Ukraine. And there's this guy standing next to it like this, right? It's like for sale. Surface-to-air
quality.
launcher. Good working condition. $2 million. And I'm like, man, imagine if we could raise $2 million and send Alex legitimately rolling into his driveway a surface-to-air missile unit.
That'd be awesome.
After the war, you can fill it with T-shirts.
Yeah, absolutely. But don't forget, you can go to the rest of the shop as well at deanblundell.com, and you can
Fire them to Oshawa from Brampton.
I kind of want to buy one of those tanks now too. Actually,
Yeah.
that's what we should do. We should set a goal with the merch shop to get like, so we can buy like a tank to do what the Raptors do, but do it like geographically across the GTA.
Yep.
Fire T-shirts out of a cannon.
Who wants a T-shirt? Oshawa! 12! Oh, the recoil on this thing is crazy.
GFY? What's that?
GFY.
I get my news from Who's Dean Blundell.
Yeah, they don't care. Anyway, go to the shop too because we got the Go Fuck Yourself gear and it is humming. The Go Fuck Yourself gear or the Good For You gear. You can get yourself a shirt. As you can see, it's right here on the page. You can get yourself a nice black hoodie. These are really good quality hoodies and we've priced them so that you can actually afford them. And yes, the prices are going to go up because it's all introductory. But if you go to deanblundell.com, you can get yourself a shirt. You can get yourself a hat. You can also get these sweet mugs. Take them to work and you can tell all those people that you hated prior to the pandemic that they can go fuck themselves. Passively.
Never a bad idea.
No. Anyway, thanks everybody. Appreciate it.
That was a good one today, boys.
That was fun.
We'll see you on Monday.
Lachlan Cross,
Happy Good
95.7
Friday.
Cruise FM in Edmonton. Happy Good Friday to you. Yeah. Ryan Lindley, happy Good Friday to you. Rookie, happy Good Friday to you.
Stations
we
of the
got
Cross, 12 to 3.
Stations of the Cross.
That's why I'm getting your music ready.
Happy Good Friday, everybody. We'll be back on Monday. Spend the weekend in the presence of the Lord. I don't care. Or not. Just remember, 2,000 years ago, this weekend, nothing happened.
I'll be eating shellfish and pork tomorrow, if anybody wants to join me. I'll be wearing mixed fabrics. And I will be coveting my neighbor's wife.
Also, I plan on stealing a few things and masturbating a lot.
To porns.
They call that the Easter hat trick.
Have a great weekend.
See you later, guys.
Love
there
you
you go.
guys.
Rookie, love you too. The rookie Ryan, everybody's here. Everybody's leaving. That's it for us. That was fun. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the weekend. If you are religious, sorry. I hope you have a blessed weekend. I do. I really do. Even though I don't subscribe to your stuff. Good for you. Good for you. You know? Good for you. Have a great day. Thanks, and have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday. Thanks to our friends at Easy Auto Financial for making this possible. Go to easyautofinancial.com today and hook yourself up with some financing. These guys know how to get you some financing for a brand new vehicle. So easy to do. That's because they're legends and they don't require any money. No upfront costs, no obligation. Go to Easy Auto Financial, get your financing. They'll send you to get the car you need. They'll take care of everything. EasyAutoFinancial.ca. Also, Domination. Dominate with content with Domination.com, DMNTN.com. It's AI for content producers, podcasters, gamers, and streamers. One file, one podcast will give you 72 pieces, promos, etc. that you can use across all platforms. It's artificial intelligence for people that produce online content. Try them today for free at DMNTN.com and Ed's Fine Imports. Go to Ed's Fine Imports today. Make sure you purchase yourself a pair of Gitch and their luxury branded underwear. That's the only place in the world you can get them, by the way. GITCH, luxury branded boxer briefs, pouch in the front, all day long. You can wear them all day long. Moisture wicking, keep everything separate down there. Boxer briefs, great band. You will love these luxury underwear, and he wants to send you a pair for free when you order 3 or more. Gitch3 is your promo code. When you go and order, checkout, that's your promo code. He'll send you a free pair of underwear. Clothing for men and boys, too. Great online store as well. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you over the next few days. I think Monday. Yeah, we're back Monday. Monday. You'll be here, right? I'll be here. You'll be here. Everybody else will be here. And we'll be back for the full week. That's how it works. You Monday. And you go Tuesday. but we're taking this Friday off. Because why not? Everybody else is. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Oh, Monday. Bye.